I bet there's a certain section of this fan base is like, God damn it, their wokeness. Seed is about to be a conversation. So here's the other bite mark. Oh, it's the tattoo, which you can't really see. Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Welcome to another video reaction, and today we're jumping back into the world of The Last of Us. Where we left off, we've mourned Joel to the extent that we could, and now Ellie with Dina have started their journey to redemption, journey to revenge, journey to... we'll see where it goes. After Joel's death, I know a lot of people have been very disappointed, probably sad, skeptical of where the story's gonna go. Hopefully they deliver, but again, I want to tell you guys that there is so much great shit to be shown and to be told in this story. We are in episode 4 right now. Before we jump to this episode, as always, I need to give a special shout out to my amazing Patreons: Chuck Lofer, AK, Archangel, Berry Switch, Heather, Nettles, Mars of France, Precious Lily White, and Machiavelliaton. Thank you guys as always for being patrons of the channel. Your support means the world to me, and for anybody who would like to check out my Patreon for full-length reactions, early access to reactions and videos, and other Patreon exclusive benefits, the link is in the description down below. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, I'm just very eager and excited to jump into this episode. So yeah, let's jump into episode 4 of season 2 of The Last of Us, guys. Let's go.
I call for backup. Guess who shows up? He pulls up, he gets out of his truck, he's in a fucking mood. These fucking pussies even do. You fucking perverts are out here jerking off and splooging on my streets. He just turns back to look at me like, are you gonna tell him? And I look back at him like, fuck no. And that's when the guy decides to open his mouth anyway and goes, well, actually, the word disseminate means, and boom! Greenberg slams his fucking head again. And Greenberg goes, no one asked you, jizz boy.
What is this story that we are dropped in on unsolicited, like?
Why do you call them that? The citizens, why do you call them voters?
I don't know. Who cares?
Because we took away their rights. Took away their right to vote, and somebody started calling them voters to mock them.
Damn, is this guy who I think it is?
I didn't mean anything by it, Sarge.
Of course you didn't, you're thoughtless. Keep it running.
Copy.
Low.
Protocol.
Protocol is to obey your commanding officer, period. The end. Now, if we go out there in force, this will end up the way it always does. Because you're all Greenberg.
If this is what I think it is, the character, he's one of the characters that in this season, in the show, he's one of those characters that I want to be expanded on in this show.
Come with me.
Because I think he has so much potential as a character. And again, I'm not gonna start talking about the said character until we actually find out who he is and stuff. But this is Fedra, so this is probably, if he's the character I'm thinking of, this is... It said 2018, so yeah, it is years ago.
You hand in hand.
So this is them veering off from Fedra. This is what this scene is. Okay, this is definitely what I think it is.
Welcome to the fight.
Now make your choice.
I mean, it's a pretty easy choice, right? I'm joining, yo. I didn't even like this guy's jokes.
Hey, I'm gonna pee. Give me a minute.
What did we find, Dina? Something that you do actually need to pee for, and did you wash your hands?
Thanks. You okay? Yeah.
What's up with all the rainbows? I don't know. Maybe they're all optimists.
I bet there's a certain section of this fan base is like, God damn it, their wokeness. They added the rainbow to my Last of Us. Fucking idiots. The woke agenda. I have a
Why
small
didn't take his
penis.
clothes?
Fedra got fucked up out here.
You think it was the WLF? These bodies are in Frederick gear. Almost looks like they were fighting each other. Huh. Good eye.
Are you music headily? What have you been listening to recently? Guys, maybe not play drums in a zombie apocalypse where zombies go by ear. Maybe not play the drums when you're trying to hide from
to kill you.
people.
That's the plan.
Guys, your survival instincts. Use them, please. Oh, hold on. I know what this scene is. They might actually start singing and playing music here. We might get a live cover by Dina and Ellie. But this is an iconic part of the second game. For real. We might even get a flashback here, if we're lucky. Yes, Ellie. This is so iconic. I like how the voice is on your hand too. Get your lighters up for Ellie. Such a warm scene. It's heartwarming. One of these beautiful, beautiful moments in The Last of Us.
All those lessons from Joel.
Can we see them?
He taught you well.
He did.
Flashback. God damn it. Give me.
Hungry?
Okay, so in the game there's a very cool game mechanic in the second game where there are certain parts of the game where Ellie finds the guitar. You can actually sit there and actually play. Sit there and play guitar. And if you actually know, you can play whatever songs you like on the guitar, whatever songs you can recreate. And there are so many videos on YouTube where people are playing some classics with Ellie on the guitar in The Last of Us 2, which I thought was a great game mechanic to add. If you're gonna add a guitar, why not give us the opportunity to be able to play whatever on it? And there's these moments where you can actually just take yourself out of what is going on, the craziness of the story, and just sit there and just do your thing. Kind of like prolong these heartwarming moments with these characters.
Starving. Great. Come on, I'll make us beef jerky.
They executed the hell out of this scene. I love this stuff.
You know, when I was a younger man and I wanted to impress a woman, well, you have to know your strengths. And I was kind of shy.
Who are you speaking to, my
I didn't
guy?
know how to talk to women. What I would do is cook for them. And I was good. Good enough to deserve quality tools. But did I have the money for that? No, I did not. At these. Mauviel. Best of the best. French, of course. Think, okay, 30 years to retirement and pension, but one day I will own a Mauviel saucepan. And I was right. Just not how I planned. Strange benefits of the apocalypse.
Yes. Who are you talking to, though?
Of course, this means it doesn't retain heat the way cast iron does, which of the two makes copper the inferior choice for interrogations. But if you own Mauviel, use Mauviel.
She watches over me.
Then she's been watching you get your ass kicked. You know there are even scars who don't believe she's some magic fairy in the sky, huh? Some of you actually understand she was just a person.
Heretics.
This is so crazy scene.
Steel hand
But
is
yes,
so
I
cool.
like. Give us more of him. Give us his backstory. How he became who he became.
Where are the scars attacking next? Hold out your hand.
Jesus. This is so fucked. Shut up. Isaac knows what he's doing.
Okay, they said it. So Isaac Now that we have a name for the face, right? For me, one of the most interesting characters in the second game. He just commanded every single scene he was in a different level of just aura, for lack of a better word. But we met him at a certain stage of his as a life, and then I'm like, I wish we found out how he became who he became. I wish we found out more about his backstory. I wish he's such a fucking interesting dude and character, and the way he commanded the screen, the scenes. It was. I'm like, I need to know this man's story. What is his backstory? So in this season and in this show specifically, I'm so glad that they are actually starting from him at Fedra, leaving Fedra. He's showing a little bit of how he felt about Fedra, his beliefs. This part right here about him loving to cook and his love for fucking the finery of a kitchen. Some very like adding some more details about his character. I love that already. He's one of my favorite Last of Us characters. And again, in the game, he appears in the second game. He gets some screen time, but I hoped he would get even more than what we had in the game. So I'm very glad that we're seeing him as early as episode 4 in season 2. Hopefully he remains kind of like the main person that we follow in the story, because he's such a fucking bad ass character in my view. The way I saw him in the second game.
She watches over me, she fills my soul. She watches over me, she fills my soul. She watches over me, she fills my soul. She watches.
She tell you to kill children?
You kill our children.
Never by choice. You train them to shoot at us.
Because you wolves kill them.
Because you train them to shoot at us.
Okay, what is this? This can be placed in modern day events. It's between a certain country and some other people. I'm not gonna go into politics. But this is some commentary a little bit on that. And also, alongside with his story, and that's the WLF, come the scars, right? The people that we saw in the previous episode as well, with the scars, right? And their profit, which was another part of the second game where there is just so much. We got a decent amount of it in the second game, right? They play a big part in the story, as does Isaac. But it felt like we were like in the second game, we were kind of like passers-by from the WLF Scar thing. I'm not gonna expand too much on it because I'm sure they're gonna keep showing us stuff. But it felt like there was so much history and lore between the two that you can find a lot about them in the game. You can find in notes, in scriptures, in conversation between the characters. If you listen to them before you kill certain characters and stuff, there are many things that you can pick up on where you build this lore and this history. But I wish we saw more of it. I know there is so much good storytelling that can be had if you have some good writers and you focus on this conflict between the two. I'm so glad that they focused on them this early. Is what I keep coming back to. That's what I would have done if I had to adapt the second game. I would like go to work with how many things you can do, what many things you can do with these groups of people and their stories and their characters. So I'm super glad they're doing that. So much good storytelling. I hope they do a great job of it. So far I'm enjoying a scene like this is like yeah, you're doing this right.
You're gonna lose.
Are we? Son, we have automatic weapons and hospitals, and you lunatics have bolt-action rifles, bows and arrows, and superstition. So tell me, how are we going to lose?
Every day, one of your wolves comes to see the truth and takes her into their heart. Every day, a wolf leaves you. to take the holy mortification to become a Seraphite. And none of us ever leave to become a wolf.
I will burn every part of you until you tell me what I want to know!
He's ready. The torture method is not gonna work. Yep.
Good.
He's the guy that.
Scar got what he deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. An iconic fucking scene. Yep.
Dina?
That's what I thought she saw in the previous episode. Because that would make anybody throw up.
These aren't any of them either.
Fucking hell. And it just shows you a little bit of when we talk about the scars, or as they call themselves, Seraphites, what we kind of have to deal with here in terms of their practices, right? Feel her love. So they are fanatics,
That group we saw
right?
in the woods, they did this. What the fuck is wrong with Seattle? Get down, down!
Look at this. Fuck would do that? Scar's got all of them. I don't see Brancaccio or Welsh, but yeah, it's the rest of them. The rest of you fan out. And go slow. If the Scars are still here, find them and kill them.
Isaac said he wants him live for questioning.
Isaac's not here, okay?
So see, in the game you hear about Isaac a lot, but you start seeing him at some point. But you keep hearing about some Isaac. Everybody's kind of like, Isaac said. You're like, who the fuck is this Isaac dude?
I don't give a shit if it's a woman or a kid. Look, I don't care if it's a fucking baby. Look what they did. Now fan the fuck out!
Dina, you can't just stay there, my girl. Or at least I don't think you can. I guess you could. There we go, Dina.
They're in the transit tunnel. Circle to the south entrance.
You good? Yeah. Is this place gonna fall down on us?
I love how nobody else can be stealthy outside of our protagonist. Everybody else makes as much noise as possible whenever they enter a fucking vicinity. Oh, flares, fucking lights, noises everywhere. Oh shit! I know where. Oh wait, this point of the game.
I thought it was supposed to be empty. Yeah, it was.
A lot more than 5. Let's go, Dina. Bella Ramsey's scared expressions are 10 out of 10. So good, so fucking good.
Dina, come on! Maybe there.
Seed is about to be a conversation. It's about to go down, but it's gonna be a conversation go down.
Okay, it's not perfect, but if anyone tries to get in, it'll buy some. What are you doing?
I like how Ellie's completely oblivious to normal reaction at somebody being beat.
Please don't make this any harder than it has to be. Wait! Why did you do that? Why the fuck did you have to do that? Please listen to me.
Speak, girl!
I'm immune. I can't get infected.
Yeah, normal people, they would not believe that shit. People would not believe that shit. They'd be like, I was just trying to say something so I don't shoot her. You're not immune, you crazy girl. Nobody's immune. Why would you suddenly be immune? All this time you were immune, you hadn't told me nothing. Boom!
Dina, do not fucking shoot me! I've been banned before. I'm still here.
So here's the other bite mark. Oh, it's the tattoo, which you can't really see.
I know you don't believe me. I'm gonna walk over there, nice and slow, to that big fucking chair, and I'm gonna bandage my arm and I'm gonna go to sleep. You're gonna sit as far away from me as you want, and you're gonna keep that gun pointed on me. If I turn, shoot me, but I promise. A lot of times I wish this wasn't true. I'm gonna wake up exactly as I am right now.
That's a hard line. A lot of the times I wish this wasn't true. You're lucky Dina loves you, girl. You would have been a goner if you were just a random. You better not even sneeze. Suddenly, Ellie. I mean, nobody can blame Dina in this situation, right? It's completely normal fucking reaction, bro. And this is not healthy for Dina. Staying awake.
It's just water. Rain fell on my face, that's all. See? No shaking.
Is Dina awake or is she sleeping, bro? Oh no, she's awake. They're doing such a good job here. What would actually happen in this situation? Dina wouldn't just be, okay, she's immune. Oh my goodness. This is such a good scene, they're doing an amazing job with this. The tension!
Ellie. Yeah. I'm pregnant.
She said it! Yes sir! Yes sir, now I can talk about it. Stop putting this poor woman through all this stress, she's carrying a fucking child. She's carrying a fucking fetus! Stop putting her through this stress, not sleeping. Climbing, jumping, crawling. Yes, now the cat's out the bag. We are with child. That's one way to, I don't know, ease the tension. This did not happen in the game. This definitely did not happen in the game. Okay, now they're pushing it. Okay. See, I'm all for fucking sex scenes. But like, why did this have to happen here? Okay. Why did that have to happen after this fucking brilliant scene? This felt so much like the Arcane, Vi and Caitlyn sex scene.
Wait, no, morning breath.
Very out of place. Because y'all did not even actually discuss the fact that Tina is pregnant. So there are scenes that they do a great job of, even if expanding them from the game. They were doing a fantastic job with this. I felt like this was out of place. I feel like this was kind of like shoehorned in here because they probably didn't feel like they had the time to use it to do this with these two characters later on. Dina and Ellie, they actually get together way before this in the game. They actually get together in that weed place that Ellie and Jesse found out in the show. In the game, it was Dina and Ellie. And that's when they have this moment, her and Tina. So that was before even Joe's death, they had this moment between them. And I was a little bit surprised they didn't do that. They had the time, I feel like, to do it in the first 2 episodes. So I feel like this here, it really puts me out of the mood that I was in, where the mood of that scene to me was like, we are gonna have to have a couple of very, very hard conversations. And that's how it was in the game. It was first, you know, Ellie and Dina, Ellie having to explain to Dina about her hiding the fact that she has been immune all this time and how Dina reacted. But then Dina having to tell Ellie that she's pregnant, that she hid from Ellie, and how Ellie reacted to Dina. I felt like that was a very interesting dynamic, how they reacted. It was a very, 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 very powerful scene in the game when Dina told Ellie. No, never mind Ellie telling Dina she's immune. That was one thing. They did it better here. They did it better, I feel like, than in the game. More realistic than in the game. In the game, Ellie tells Dina. Dina is, you know, she has a hard time believing it, but eventually she does. A lot easier than what we saw in here in the show. But then, when Dina tells Ellie about the child, then that scene is fucking woof. So fucking emotional, so fucking strong. I don't know if they're gonna still do this here at some point, but the reaction, Dina announcing Ellie that she's being pregnant this time, and then them just fucking as the response. I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of like takes me out of the mood that I was in.
I thought you were gone. And then all of a sudden, this future I was imagining wasn't gonna happen. We have a kid, and I don't even know if you want that.
Is anybody
That's why
gonna
it took so long.
talk to Jesse about his child though?
I knew how you felt about me.
Because this is definitely not Ellis. We both know that. We all know that.
I try to make things work with Jesse because I like him. I do. I think he's a really good guy. But he wasn't the one.
That's so beautiful. Can we
No one's
discuss
as brave as you.
that? I know this has been pent up for a lot of time, so I'm gonna let them enjoy this. But we have more pressing issues, as in like, what are you about to do now?
How do you know for sure that you're...
I knew morning sickness was a thing, and I was late, which I've never been regular, but I was very late. And then I found a pregnancy test.
Lines means pregnant.
Oh, she has COVID. Fuck.
And
Oh, you've just
couple
been
more.
pissing on this. Just been pissing on pregnancy tests. Fuck toilets.
having a baby.
No, Ellie. I mean, technically you are.
Yes, Jesse.
Please, somebody mention this poor guy, Jesse. Somebody just mention this poor guy. Somebody just talk about Jesse, bro. Somebody.
It was Jesse, right? We're all having a baby.
That's gonna be a pretty dope family.
I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah.
You and Jesse. No, I understand what she's talking about. She's gonna be the one probably to raise the baby. But if I'm Jesse, I'm definitely wanting parts of the raising of the child, please. Gonna be the fucking... I don't know how you'd do this. You'd probably do it a little bit like Ross in Friends and his wife and her wife. That would be the relationship, to be honest. It's still my baby at the end of the day. I want parts of this. But at least they mentioned Jesse, that's the important part. So this is completely different from the game. I don't know if I like this. I like them together. I think this scene was very, very, very nice and beautiful, and it is a big part of both their characters, which beautiful scene, don't get me wrong. But in the game, the discussion and the argument. They actually had an argument. I don't know if I should say what it is, what the scene was, because they might still have the scene. And it still might be great, because the show likes to do these things. So I don't know. Should I tell it? Should I just put some spoilers in here? Potential spoilers? Right? We can do that here. Okay, I'll just put some potential spoilers here. So if you guys want, just in case to be safe, you can click the 15-second button and just skip this part. So in the game, but I'm gonna start talking about it now. In the game, when Ellie found out Dina was pregnant in this exact place, she was very upset at Dina. A part of it was she loved Dina, so her finding out that she was pregnant with Jesse's child obviously was very upsetting for her, because it's like, oh well, we can't be together now, right? Obviously, you're gonna have to be with Jesse, the father of the child. So that already brought her to a very bad mental place. She was already in a bad mental place, obviously because Joel died. She was in this mood of, I need to go and find and kill whoever did this. Dina joined her, right? And then, after those thoughts came to pass, or swirled around in there, then Ellie is like, you are pregnant? And you came here while being pregnant? Because I believe initially Ellie, or rather Dina, knew about the pregnancy before, if I remember correctly, or again she found out early on. She told Ellie that she didn't know before they started the journey. She found out early on though, but Ellie thought she knew before, so she tagged along despite that. And she's like, you, and she was very, so she used some harsh language there, kind of like blaming Dina, because now Ellie won't be able to continue with this mission, because she's like, no Dina, we can't continue this, you need to go back to the commune. I need to take you back to the commune now, because you are in danger if we keep going with your child. If you're pregnant, we can't just keep going like this to this mission. This is dangerous. You should have told me. You should have told me. And she, I think, actually refers to Dina as kind of like weighing her down in that scene. Like she's gonna weigh her down. And Dina obviously felt very offended by that statement. And Ellie didn't mean half of the things she was saying in that scene. She was just very emotional about finding out Dina was pregnant with Jesse's child and all the other things going on at the same time. Moments prior, she had to explain to Dina that she was immune, but that where a little bit of selfishness came from Ellie, right? A little bit of selfishness came out for Ellie. Maybe for one of the first times in her character, where, you know, we can discuss about this a little bit more later on in the show as well. But after Dina had been like, okay, so you're immune, you didn't tell me. I went through a lot of stress just now, thinking you were going to die, thinking you were going to turn. Why didn't you tell me? But then eventually kind of like, okay, she's like, okay, I understand. But then Ellie really didn't understand, or didn't let herself understand Dina's position of not telling her earlier. And then she tells her that, and then she leaves. Dina is in one of these chairs here in this hotel area. Ellie, they have this big argument. Ellie tells her that she's gonna weigh her down, basically, you know, kind of like blames her for the situation that Ellie's gonna be in now, where she's like, I can't continue this mission. And then Ellie leaves, and just leaves Dina, a pregnant girl, after being chased by zombies. She leaves her here, and she goes upstairs. She leaves. She climbs upstairs. She leaves Dina, and Dina is left by herself in the hotel, where it's kind of like a big thing, right? Because you're like, Ellie, what are you doing? You still need to protect her and her child. Like, what is this reaction you're having all of a sudden? That's very un-Ellie-like. And again, we can keep continuing a bit about Ellie's character as we move on to the show, and how she maybe has hardened, you know. But we'll continue with this. But it was a very different mood in this hotel in the game than it was right now in the show. After Dina tells us she's pregnant, what they did prior with Dina, her reaction to Ellie, I thought was brilliant. And if it led even to more tension and just conversations and they actually added that scene, I feel like it would have been so powerful. This was beautiful. Was it powerful in terms of kind of like the pure emotion that we would have had if they had executed the scene in the game? I don't know. I feel like we kind of like got cheated on from a big emotional moment in the show and between these two, because you know sometimes those hard conversations kind of like only help strengthen the relationships both between the actual characters but us watching that unfold. This was still beautiful. They needed to have a scene like this, and it was in the game. It just was earlier in the game, and then later they had more scenes where they are like, you know, they end up, you know, they are, as we see here, they are together. I feel like there were other areas of the show that they could have had that scene instead of this. I felt the exact same way about, again, Arcane. If you saw my reaction to Arcane with Vi and Caitlyn, having that scene inside the cell where Vi's sister was just in and they just had a very hard conversation, and it felt very out of place. This did not feel as bad, as out of place as that scene. That scene was just horrible to me. I have found no redeeming qualities. There are redeeming qualities in this scene where it's like they needed to have this scene and this conversation even that they had right now. But I just feel like I would have rather they kept it more true to what the game did in this scene specifically. But hey, spoilers free now. They might still do what I'm talking about. They might have another type of conversation like that. So we'll see. She remember Nora? She remember the name?
He just said Nora.
Yeah.
She's gonna know
Where
where
Abby is, yeah.
Hi, and we look around. Come on.
See that white building out there? That's it. That's Lake Hill.
Y'all are in the middle of a fucking war zone. Just so y'all know.
You don't have to go. You can stay here.
Fuck you.
No, I'm not saying... It's different now.
Yes, it is.
Will you please just think about it?
They're kind of having this scene. Not anything like the game though. But that was kind of like the essence of it. It's like it's dangerous for Dina now.
Together.
At least he acknowledged the fact that it would be dangerous for Dina. So I feel like, okay, I can deal with what they did here. I do think that that would have been a great acting scene we could have got. But still, I'm okay with how they did this in the show. It's not bad by any means. So, favorite part in this episode is the introduction of Isaac's character. From the few scenes that we saw here, he can deliver the character very, very well. The scene where Ellie gets infected, or rather bit, not infected. The chasing that they did was great. Really, really well executed. And then the initial start of the conversation and how Dina reacted and all that, I thought it was brilliant. Again, I think I would have liked to keep the game scene there after that. But I'm not mad at it by any means. But yeah, Isaac's introduction, big thumbs up for me. It gets 2 thumbs ups actually, because yes, that scene between him and that Sarah fight, great. Not a lot of things happened, but a few major ones, which is Dina's pregnancy and Ellie admitting she's immune and Isaac's introduction. I understand that they're gonna maybe take things a bit slower now in season 2. So in season 1, I don't know if they knew when they made season 1 that they were going to have season 2, just as a de facto. Now I'm pretty sure they have confirmed that they're gonna be season 3 as well. So it makes sense because the second game is way bigger than the first game in length, in story. And I can see that they are going to take things a bit slower, despite episode 2 being episode 2 and them killing Joel the way they did. That is important because, again, in the game, the death of Joel was very sudden and very early and nobody expected it. So I understand why they still remain true to the game and killed him early in season 2. But I am sensing that they're gonna maybe take things a little bit slow, give us more scenes, character scenes, which I always appreciate. I'm one of those people that, especially in TV shows, ideally in movies too if you have the time, but especially when you have a TV show, it's very important to have character scenes. Not every scene needs to move the plot forward, when you're a good writer, you can write really good character scenes that are just as engaging and as important in the long run, because that's how we connect with your characters. If every scene is plot driven and only for the plot to move the plot forward, yes, it can be a very fast-paced and so where people that don't feel like it's dragging at any point. But some of the closeness that you can feel towards certain characters might not end up being there. So it's a tricky thing to do. You don't want to be too drawn out, because you might lose people. But you also, in my opinion at least, you don't want to only go for just further the plot, move from A to B to C, because there are so many important characters moments, especially when you're talking about The Last of Us adaptation, that they will need to add, and then they're adding their own things and that further backstories for characters that we want to see. So all that needs its time, definitely. I would say out of the 4 this season, this is probably the weakest one, in terms of just how I felt by the end of it. But I'm keeping the great introduction of Isaac, the great portrayal of Isaac, and that scene between Ellie and Dina in the end. Although I wish maybe they would have done it more like the game, I still really like that. Yeah, guys, let me know how you guys feel so far. But again, you all Joel truthers, I'm one of them too. You hang in there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.